Let's just get into it because it has been the craziest couple of weeks. And I told myself I'd show up every Sunday to record. This is 2020 Fix. Hi, I'm Fix. And I am. I've basically spent the whole day cleaning my Airbnbs. I clean it myself because, child, it is a long story, which is interesting because I'm also about to get into how to leverage help when you need it. But I just happen to be in a season where I am kind of doing everything by myself. And a part of me needs to let go of that. Today I listened as I was frantically vacuuming Mel Robbins' podcast episode where she had, his name, Seth Godin. And they were talking about done is better than perfect. And there is no better example than how I have showed up today. Because, child, this bare face, no bra, a t-shirt on and a hoodie, honey. Because done is better than perfect. And perfect has confounded me. The need, desire, reaching for, attempting to be perfect has confounded me my whole life. First of all, it's impossible. So, I don't even know why we try. But second, it's a control thing, I am currently in the process of having my online course is called Your Last Weight Loss Program edited. And the reason that I'm not editing it is because I've got a lot going on. I usually edit all of my own stuff. I went to film school. I can do the thing. I can click the button. I can Control Alt Delete. I can Command X. Okay. However, if I get caught in the weeds like that, which I do, and I still am, I'm not doing the money making thing, right? I'm not doing the paid ads. I'm not selling. I'm not creating content and coming up with new ideas, coming up with new products to sell, recording meditations. So when I'm stuck in the weeds, I'm basically that. I'm stuck. And I'll tell you a quick story. This is now a week ago. So it's Sunday now. Last week, Sunday. I am up at 3 a.m. in the morning. I have been, God knows what I was doing. I was probably reading a script or studying, whatever. Get to bed late. And I'm like, I'm just going to get to bed and I'm going to pass out. It's going to be a good night's sleep. I'm going to wake up tomorrow. Can't sleep because I'm like concerned. I'm like, God, I'm not doing the money making thing. I know what the money making thing is. It's not that I did it just for the money, but it's part of it, right? I'm adding value. I should be compensated. And I know exactly what that is. It is this digital product, this online course that I've created. I took 2 weeks, not even like a week and a half to film it in January. And I've just been sitting on it. I've been sitting on it the entire February. Yes, in the meantime, I did write 2 seasons of a microdrama, but that's a story for another day. But that is to say that all these amazing opportunities are just landing on my lap. Writing opportunities, producing opportunities, leadership opportunities. But I also know that my Mind First platform, which is my platform that leverages brain science and meditation so that people can solve everyday problems, I know that that's what God put on my heart to share with the world because that's what I love talking about. And the first offering is an online course about how to use your mind to rewire yourself for weight loss and get into your dream body. I know people need this information. Heck, I did it. I meditated. I'm going to say it. I meditated myself into my dream body. And I want to help you do the same. So knowing that people want this information and they need this information, why, God, have I been sitting on it for a month without I think I edited maybe the first episode, the first lesson, and then that was it. And I was like, well, it's because you keep throwing so much opportunity my way that I actually don't have time for this thing that I know will add value and compensate me in the same way. I'm like, what do you want me to do? And all these other things, right? Like if you're in film, you know that it takes a little bit of time for things to come to fruition. So I'm not going to get paid for a while. Yes, I have my Airbnb businesses, but Lord, I want more. And with the course, you're throwing so much at me, I don't even have the time to edit it. So what do you want me to do? And literally as I'm sitting there crying, trying to listen, I get a download, 3 a.m. in the morning. Just get someone on Fiverr to edit it for you. And the anxiety completely left my body. And I do think the reason that thought had never had the chance to enter my brain was because of my perfectionistic tendencies. Because that saying, If you want something done right, you must do it yourself. I remember this from Mighty Mouse. Oh, the things we remember. Who remembers Mighty Mouse, the cartoon about that mouse? That was Mighty. And one of the enemies, one of the bad guys, said that. He said, if you want something done right, you must do it yourself. And he goes and bombs something. But I guess that thought had been in my consciousness because, like I said, I know how to edit. I know how to press the buttons. I know how to tell a story. I'm trained to do this. But it just never occurred to me that I could leverage the help of someone else who could possibly do it faster. The only thing that she might not be able to do is do it like I would do it, which in my mind is the perfect thing. And so I had to let that go. And it was actually really easy to let go because of the amount of overwhelm I was putting myself through, right? I need to be the one who edits it and it needs to be on brand and the slides need to be perfect. And I literally just got the first draft of the first episode today and it was okay. It was good. Like, I know the information I'm teaching is good. The only thing that really she had to work on was the slides, and I realized I wasn't really clear about that. I gave her the feedback. She literally just sent me a lesson, and we're gonna see. I've told myself I'm not gonna tell her to change anything else after this, and that she can go ahead and edit the course because done is better than perfect. So where is this perfection thing showing up in your life? I'll tell you somewhere else where it shows up in my life or has shown up in my life. Oh my God. So in 2020, the world changed. The acting world changed. How we audition changed. All of a sudden, I went from maybe self-taping 1 out of 5 times. The other 4 times I was in a room at CBS or NBC. I was creating relationships, personal relationships with casting directors. But that all changed. And now every single audition was a self-tape. I remember when I started, I'm not even joking, I could go up to 50 takes of a scene. Now, there's pros and cons to everything, right? I happen to believe that when you are self-taping, and I just realized I've been looking at my monitor the entire time. I should be looking at you. Anyway, when I was self-taping, the benefit is that I get to go as many takes as possible, which is also a detriment if you're a perfectionist. I get to creatively define the character in a way that I feel like is fit for it. I get to feel more comfortable in my own space. I have more control on the lighting, the sound, what I'm wearing, because honey child, when you're auditioning in New York City, honey, and you're coming out of that subway, sweaty, the world has literally just layered itself onto your skin. It was it was the trenches to some extent. And I do audition more in person in South Africa than I ever did in America. But, the benefits of auditioning in the room is that you do create that personal connection with your casting director. They can feel your energy. They feel your spirit. They know who you are. You get more comfortable in the casting room. Anyway, all that is to say, 50 takes. Sometimes I would go up to 50 takes of people who I would ask, like my friends, my classmates. See, it's getting darker and darker because I've run out of light because I've had a long day. Anyway, the people who I would ask to help me would just get so annoyed with me because it honestly didn't stop. And I would overthink everything. Now, even if I'm casting in person, I will literally walk out one take. And yes, it is because I believe I'm that good. But secondly, it's because done is better than perfect. So I have to just remember I've done up to that point when I have practiced and rehearsed my scene. It's in me, right? I have made the best choice that I can. And unless the casting director wants me to do it again, which honestly they usually don't, I'll do it again. But I've become somewhat of a 1-take wonder, 2-take maybe in auditions. And I'm okay with that because there's an element where you have to trust that you have done enough. Seth Godin gave a really interesting example about the Toyota Camry in Detroit, whatever, when they were manufacturing it in the 90s, right? The Toyota Camry is a very functional car. It needs to meet a certain spec, right? A certain spec of quality. And once it reaches that spec of quality, then it passes the test and then it's fine. Mel Robbins said that her first copy of Let Them, the legendary book Let Them, went to print with 117 errors. And trust that the public didn't have no problem fishing those out and letting her know. Great, she created a new game for everyone to play. But it's not that the quality was compromised. No, we're focusing on the wrong thing. I showed up without makeup today, okay? I showed up without my clothes. I love dressing up for you guys and looking pretty, okay? But the functionality, the quality of what I'm sharing is the consistent thing, has to be the consistent thing. Let Them has changed the lives of millions of people because of the message in there. Camrys are still on the road today because they met the spec. We need to make the main thing the main thing. It's not about the perfection of my image or the overproduction of my video. It's not about the 117 spelling mistakes or grammar mistakes in Mel Robbins' book. If you know you're coming with quality, if you trust yourself that, you know what, I have studied enough about neuroscience, I have meditated enough, I've gotten myself in my dream body, and I've helped enough people with 1,400 plus ebook downloads for my Mind First, Mouth Second weight loss ebook. I trust that I'm coming at this course with something. The bells and the whistles and the distractions, the cherries on top, it's nice, right? But I got cake. I brought cake. That is good enough. And we'll get perfect later, or rather we'll fine tune later, because perfect does not exist. So think about it. Where does the urge to be perfect show up the most in your life? And how is that getting in your way of doing the thing that needs to be done? Because I promise you, if you are feeling stuck, then there's some part of you that is waiting for a permission slip, and it's usually perfection in some way. I had a photographer reach out to me. A couple of photographers actually reach out to me in the last weeks, and one of them actually came to my village and we shot at the clubhouse. And he said, you know what, Fix, I was really, really surprised that you were so quick in getting back to me about arranging the photo shoot. We did it in less than 4 days after him reaching out. And he said, a lot of women I reach out to wait. They give me some kind of excuse. And usually it's something like, oh, can you please wait until I have lost weight so that you can come and take pictures of me so that we can organize this photo shoot. And he was like, Fix, I don't think that they really want it. And I said, no, it's not that they don't want it. In some way, they are telling themselves that they are not worthy. They don't believe they're worthy of their image, their picture being taken of them. And it's such a fun experience, right? It's being seen and being captured. They're not worthy of that because they haven't accomplished X level of perfection. In this case, it is the way your body looks. So then you self-sabotage. Essentially, perfectionism, trying to be perfect, is a way that we self-sabotage. Can you believe it? Even though that is kind of what we were taught in high school, in primary school. We were taught to color within the lines, to be perfect, for our uniforms to be straight. And that's what got us the validation, the love, the appreciation that we so thought that we needed. And then you grow up only to find that that is the very thing that is stifling you. Because we don't reward perfection. We reward value. We reward quality. We reward people that do, not people who show up perfectly. All right. I hope that resonated. I want nothing but the best of you. Thank you so much for watching. This has been 2020 Fix.